Hi guys, I'm Chloe and this is my IRA presentation on ocean acidification. So ocean acidification is the acidification of the ocean caused by the absorption of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere into the sea. And this absorption of carbon dioxide is what leads to the decrease in the ocean's pH levels. And this is the pH scale, and basically a pH over 7 is considered basic or alkaline. A pH of 7 is considered neutral, and a pH less than 7 is considered acidic, which is why the decrease in pH caused by the CO2 causes the ocean to become more acidic. So the ocean absorbs about 30% of the carbon dioxide that is released into the atmosphere. And after it's absorbed, the carbon dioxide, or CO2, reacts with the ocean's water, which is H2O. And then this reaction causes the formation of carbonic acid, whose symbol is H2CO3. Then, after the carbonic acid is formed, it further breaks down into a hydrogen ion and bicarbonate, and the chemical equation for this reaction is in the bold. And bringing it back to the pH scale in more chemistry terms, the pH of a solution is a measure of the concentration of hydrogen ions in a solution. And therefore a solution with a high number of hydrogen ions is acidic and has a low pH value, whereas a solution with a high number of hydrogen ions is basic and has a high pH value. And this is why the accumulation of hydrogen ions in the water results in the drop in pH levels, which causes the water to become more acidic. So scientists aren't exactly sure when ocean acidification began, but as of now, we know that the Industrial Revolution of the 1800s triggered an escalation of carbon dioxide levels in the atmosphere. And since that time, it has continued increasing. And also since then, the acidity of the world's oceans have increased nearly 30%, and acidity levels are expected to double by the year 2100. So this acidification leaves a significant impact on marine organisms, specifically shellfish and organisms with calcium carbonate shells or skeletons, such as coral, mussels, and oysters. And the acidity causes these organisms to be unable to rebuild their shells, which causes the shell to dissolve. And this is because a lower pH level decreases the amount of calcium carbonate in the water. So without calcium carbonate, these animals are unable to calcify, which is a process in which calcium builds up in body tissue, which causes the tissue to harden. And therefore, without this process, organisms are unable to form their shells or skeletons. So ocean acidification also impacts us too. And our planet has over 7.9 billion people, and of the 7.9 billion people, over 4.5 billion people receive at least 15% of their protein intake from fish. So when these marine animals begin to die off, it alters its ecosystem and its food web. And this alteration leaves an impact on the amount of food supply that we receive from seafood. And with this loss of organisms also causes the loss of potential medical resources. Out of the 34,000 medicines or cosmetics in existence today, only 10 have been developed from ocean-based organisms. And as more organisms die off, so do our chances of finding more potential medicinal products. And also there would be a decrease in coastal protection by coral reefs because coral reefs provide a buffer for protecting our coast from waves and storms and floods, which helps prevent the loss of life, property damage, and erosion. And that is all for my presentation. Thank you guys for listening.